Ayodeji Amodu. He is a senior special assistant to the governor on housing. Mr. Akim, if you are here, please, can we see you?
Yeah.
Is Mr. Akim in the house?
I am in the house. I'm the one wearing the face mask.
You're welcome, sir. And also, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm with you on the panel.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. You're welcome. Also with us this afternoon to actually give us an insight as to what they have to offer is no other person than Mr. Toby Lawa. Mr. Toby Lawa is the Managing Director, Lagos Building Investment, LBIC. Mr. Toby Lawa, you are welcome, sir. Is Mr. Toby Lawa with us? If they are not with us, hopefully will join us in the course of the meeting. Also on the list today is no other person than Mr. Sami Adigun, Member Board of Director, EchoStone Development, Nigeria. Mr. Sami Adigun, I can see you. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Also from the Labour side, we have two distinguished comrades who are actually by the order of hierarchy in the system. If I'm not mistaken, they are both number 4 citizens in the state. The first person I'll be introducing to you this afternoon is no other person than Comrade Benga Ekundayo, Chairman, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, Lagos State Council. Comrade Benga, you are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
And also today, in our midst, we have no other person than the chairperson of the Nigerian Labour Congress, the person of Comrade Olufumi Agnes Sesi. Comrade Sesi, you are welcome.
Good afternoon, the whole house.
Good afternoon. So, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting much of our time, we all know why we are here today. We are here to address a fundamental issue that is actually giving a lot of Nigerians sleepless nights. As we all know, housing is a tool for economic development, and that is what we will be discussing today, vis-a-vis as it is applied to the Nigerian workers. The first person I would like to call to actually tell us why we are here is no other person than the Chairman, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, Comrade Benga Ekundayo. Comrade Ekundayo, you have the floor, please.
Thank you very much. Let me take indulgence that we should just get going with discussions because the time is fast spent, so we can make the most use of what is left. Thank you very much. I wish us happy deliberations and solutions to housing challenges in Lagos. Thank you.
So thank you, Comrade Benga. That's a very brief one. As we all know, it is estimated that about 55 trillion naira will actually be required to remedy the housing gap, particularly in the housing sector. Comrades and ladies and gentlemen, to open the floor, I would like to call no other person than Mr. Toby Lawa, Managing Director, Lagos Building Investment, to tell us what they have for us. Mr. Toby Lawa, you have the floor, sir. I think from the information reaching our decks, Mr. Toby Lawa is here to join us. Probably he will do that in the course of this program. So without wasting more time, hello, can you hear me? I would like to invite Mr. Sami Adigun. Mr. Sami Adigun, a member, Board of Director, EchoStone Development, Nigeria to kindly tell us what they have to offer to the Nigerian workers, particularly as it has to do with workers in Lagos State. Mr. Sami Adigun, please.
Okay. Thank you very much. I stand on existing protocol. We appreciate to have members of NLC TUC, but I would like to my host, Mr. Abdulhakeem Ayodeji Amodu, who is the SSA to the Lagos State Governor on Housing, who is our representing our landlord, to speak before me. You know, you allow your boss to speak before you. So, Mr. Amodu, please, I'll give you the floor to speak about the mass housing initiative of Lagos, how it came about EchoStone, then I will now introduce the product. So, Mr. Amodu, so Mr. Abiodun.
Good afternoon. My name is Estate Surveyor and Valuer Ayodeji Amodu. I'm Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Housing, Ministry of Housing. Well, without being far-fetched, Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, is a passionate man about housing. And why I said this is because he is very, very ready with the belief that housing deficit in Lagos State should be drastically reduced, if not completely wiped out. And in doing this, the governor has challenged the Ministry of Housing, the entire leadership of the Ministry of Housing, that we should all go all out to ensure that housing is meant for the citizenry of Lagos State. Existing projects that were left before during the past administration abandoned were one of the reasons why the governor charged the Minister of Housing that we should ensure that we don't leave it untouched. So most of those properties are now being completed. Some of them that are nearly completion, we'll start seeing them being rolled out for commissioning. Just last week, today is the 11th of June. Let's say about less than 2 weeks now, 1 week and about some few days, May 28th, the governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olusola,
Amodu, we lost you.
commissioned
Hello.
Can you
Seems
hear
we're
him?
having challenges. No,
We can't hear. He's on
we
mute.
can't
But
hear
he's on,
Mr. Akim.
Mr. Akim is on mute. Please unmute him. He's on mute.
Let me unmute myself. Am I unmute myself
Okay,
now?
we can hear you now. We can hear
Where,
you
where
now.
did you hear me? Where did you hear me to? So I cannot stay repeating.
When you just from the beginning, please just start afresh.
Ah, this one is what? Okay, no problem. We are up to the task in the Ministry of Housing. Well, I just introduced myself. My name is Estate Surveyor and Valuer Ayodeji Amodu Abdulakim. I'm the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Housing. I would like to say that our principal in the Ministry of Housing, who is in person of Mr. Governor himself, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, has charged the Ministry of Housing, the entire leadership of the Ministry of Housing, which stems from Honorable Commissioner, Honorable Moruf Akindayo Fatai, the Special Advisor on Housing, Mrs. Toke Benson Awoyinka, and myself as Senior Special Assistant to Governor on Housing, as well as the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Housing, Mr. Wasiu Akeoshola, to ensure that we leave no stone untouched, as well as ensuring that all projects left behind during the last administration are not left to wallow in disarray. Rather, they should be completed. And that is what we have actually done in the recent times that we've been working. Just last week, as I said, less than 2 weeks now, on May 28th precisely, the governor commissioned about 2 housing projects in Lagos State. And those projects are in Lekki Phase 1, Lekki Peninsula Phase 1, which is Lekki Apartments, as well as another one on the Lekki Corridor, which is Igbokushu, Elegushi, axis of Etiosa local government. About 13 units of were commissioned. In the Lekki Apartments, which we have combination of 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and 3 bedroom. Those homes were about 124 units of houses. And those houses are meant to go for the public to purchase, either outrightly or to go through the Lagos Homes. And this is in line with the private partnership program that the governor has embraced and ensure that all other private partners should come on board, just like the Peridot Estate, which we are centering upon today, where Mr. Adigun is the director in the government, in the company. Idale, which is Badagry, where they have finished, will soon be commissioned. And those properties is in a bid for every citizen of Lagos State and Lagosians to ensure that they own their own home and be able to achieve putting shelter over their head. And by so doing, we'll be reducing, so to speak, if not wiping out completely, the housing deficit in Lagos State. I think I would like to stop here for other speakers to speak. Thank you very much. Hello.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We appreciate your introduction, and we want to say that we've really enjoyed partnering with Lagos. Lagos is the center of excellence, and we felt that in our relationship with you. So for EchoStone, we are offering to TUC NLC our brand newly completed 252 units of green certified homes. It's the first of its kind in this part of the world. You will not find any other home in Lagos or in Nigeria that comes with a certificate. This is one that the World Bank itself has certified as a green home. We'll be showing you a 360 video that shows, this 360 video is not the current one. There's a new 360 video we'll be shooting next week, so that will be updated. It's an older version, but yet it gives you a good idea of what the estate is and the quality of construction and some of the facilities that are daring. So I like the moderator or the host I have a few slides to also walk you through so that I don't just talk off the cuff. So we're introducing EchoStone Development Nigeria. EchoStone came into Nigeria 2 years ago. And since we came in, we've entered into a joint venture between a US company called EchoStone Opco Limited and a Nigerian company called Ideation. We formed EchoStone Nigeria, and then we both went into a joint venture with Lagos State. This joint venture is a strong venture that involves the Lagos State Ministry of Housing and Ibile Holdings. So it means that all development and projects that we're doing is sanctioned, approved, and authorized by the Lagos State government. We do not use any local or family land. We only use government certified land. So all these lands come with certificate of occupancy and all the titles required for homeowner standard. And if you check the word eco, it means we're environmentally friendly. Sustainability is in our DNA. We make sure that at the worst case, our home will give you 33% energy saving, but Peridot Parkland is giving you a lot more. Our materials and everything we use has 100 years ready to give you that guarantee that 100 years. Come with security pavilion, street lights, power, water supply, sewage, good drainage system, recreation facility, sports facility, and it's fully fenced. All the perimeter is covered. Even at the end, at the back end is a concrete wall that we have used to fence it. We're EDGE certified. It's an eco-friendly construction. The homes are fireproof. The temperature inside our home is 7 degrees cooler. So what Lagos being sitting on a very high water table, where our properties are hydrophobic. So water is not a problem. That means if you put our building inside water, water will not even seep through the wall. The typical block, brick and mortar wall, if the water table is high, you will see your carpets or mildew and water reaction on your house. Our homes are insulated around those things. It has strong insulation even for sound. So even noise cancellation quality is part of this home. So this home is an affordable home, but a first-class home. Please go to the next slide. Please go to the next slide. Host. So it's located, this estate we're offering you today is located in Badagry. Badagry is, we say it, which the next slide we'll talk about, is the future of Lagos. They are 2-bedroom, 252 number, 2-bedroom home, just newly completed. And we're offering it to the members of NLC TUC today on a platter. We're inviting you to own this home and be part of a new revolution, a new order of green home in Nigeria. This is the first type of home that will have this kind of facility. So anybody that owns this is actually being the first owner of a green home. The Peridot Parkland is a beautiful estate. It's the first. We have two others. We have another project in Ayobo. It's 280 units. It's going to be 2 and 3 bedroom. We have another project in Imota. Imota is going to be about 1,500 units. All that, we plan to start Ayobo maybe sometime in Q3 and Imota in Q4. So we want to get off-takers. We've finished building Predator Parkland. We don't want to start Ayobo and Imota without signing off-takers. So we're calling on the members of TUC NLC to, if you buy the ready-made one or you subscribe to the one coming up. And then why Badagry? Badagry is the future of Lagos. Every other place is, with COVID, we now realize that a home is what is the only antidote to COVID. COVID or any other disease, what you need first is proper shelter. With proper shelter, it gives you long life, it gives you good quality of life. Either you are young or old, you need a good quality home. Badagry is a historical city. It's just 68 kilometers from the airport. Our site is 25 kilometers from the border. And because of the landmark of Badagry, Badagry will forever be a city with recognition. So owning a home there, and not just any home, but a branded home, you can imagine what it will be in 10 years. I used to tell people, and I stand to be corrected, that this property, your capital appreciation will be minimum 20-25% from 2020. And I'm ready to bet it with any off-taker who signs up with us. Badagry is now has a new free zone. It's coming with a deep sea port, the largest in Africa. There is a new oil discovery, and it's just been also recognized as one of the oil community in Nigeria. So that means Badagry is now entitled to 13% going forward from derivation from this 2020. So let's show you a bit of our home. The site will start to showing you some of the features of our home. If you look at these features, it just shows you there's picture of the interior, there's picture of the backyard. Please go back to that side. If you look at this, I'm not going to waste so much time on it, but we're going to share this with everyone. This table shows you the space, both indoor and outdoor. What is the size of backyard you have? It's about 40 square meter of backyard. About front yard is another 20 square meter. So you have space both in front and in the back, all paved. And every of our home comes with roof overhang and gardens and pathways, walkways everywhere. So you are sure that from the pictures you are seeing, I don't think that there's anything that you can compare that with in Lagos market today for 9 million naira only. Please go ahead. Our floors are fully tiled. The plumbing, we use the highest quality pipe that is available in the market because of the type of walls we build. We build our homes using cellular light concrete. So because it's concrete, our piping, plumbing work is very high quality. We don't want you to move in and start with maintenance. No, we can guarantee that you won't have a burst pipe for a very, very long time. We won't say that it's 100 years, but definitely the pipe manufacturers have a 50-year guarantee on their pipes. This is the layout of the estate. The estate is well spaced out and green. Every home comes with a minimum of 2 trees on its own. All the parks, there's a beautiful park next to us, owned by Last Park himself. That's the Lagos Park Authority. That green space you can see there is a park that all our homeowners can use. Apart from that, the Last Park property, we also have an allotted plot as a playground, even inside our own estate for kids. Go ahead. So this is a 360 tour. This will be a short video. Please just watch. So this is just showing you an aerial view of the location, and then this is a closer shot of a street, a typical street. You can see the space. The space allows for quality living. It's not complicated or very tight. We have allowed for, we could have built 1.5 times the number of units we built, but because we want people who want to, if you want to live outside on the outskirts of Badagry, you need to live a quality life. So we took our time to do a world-class space management. Are you showing us the interior? Okay. We have financial partners. So this slide says, what do you do to buy? For you to own this home, it's 9 million naira, we're offering it. You need to just have the financial capability to pay 53,970, about 54,000 a month. As long as you can pay 54,000 naira a month, you can afford it. The down payment is 900,000. The interest rate on the balance of 8.1 million is only 6% if you're a contributor to the National Housing Fund. We have 2 mortgage partners. We have the City Code, and we have LBIC. These mortgage partners are on this webinar. If you want a mortgage today, within 5 hours, you can be granted a mortgage because the houses are ready. The basic principle of having a mortgage is that, is the house ready? In this case, it is ready. So you are not paying into a futures. You are paying into a ready moving home that you can move in with your family within the couple of days, or rent it out for investment. The return on this is an average of 25%. So if you look at inflation at 12% and depreciation of the value of the naira, if you invest in this, you have a net profit. So your investment of 9 million, if you pay 53,000, I bet you in 10 years, your investment will be 50 million. Please go to the next slide. So the benefits of mortgage. The biggest benefit of mortgage is that you are not looking for money to pay up front. You're only paying 10% today and you are getting 100% value. So, and then you can use the remaining 8.1 million, assuming you even have the 9 million cash. It's better for you to take a mortgage. In the developed economy, the biggest component contributor to GDP in any developed economy is housing, is the mortgage size. If you do a research on GDP or what actually is wealth, is the mortgage size. So if you have a home that is not titled, my brother and sister, you don't have a home. These homes have proper title that your generation after generation can benefit from, because it's a Lagos state-owned property we're offering you. So your equity will help you to buy into these futures. So we're telling you the best thing you can do for yourself is to sign up a mortgage. And the mortgage that is 6%, which is the National Housing Fund, is the cheapest fund in the market in Nigeria, apart from Central Bank, who has this 5% COVID. And it's not a mortgage, but this 6% is the cheapest loan anybody can get. So it makes sense to sign up today for this mortgage. The steps, how do you start? So the first thing is for you to complete an expression of interest form, sign a sales agreement with EchoStone. You can do that ASAP. Then you open an account with one of our banking partners, City Code or LBIC. You transfer your 10%, 900,000, because we don't want you to begin to save that over a long term. We can't guarantee you that these 252 homes will be available by the end of July. We have people signing up every day. So it is, and we cannot sell more than 252. We have a phase 2 opposite, which is about another 100 units. So if you don't sign up for this, then you have to wait for the phase 2. The mortgage process takes 3 months. And then within that, you can move into your house. So we advise you start the process today, and all our channels are open. All the social media platforms that we have, Twitter, Facebook, and then our website. Or you send us an email at info@echostonehousingnigeria.com. Our numbers have been displayed: 0700 323 678 663 and 0703 782 7983. You can call us anytime, and we'll be able to. We can set up an inspection. You can go online to view more information. All those who are registered will be sent emails, and they'll be able to. You can interact with all our sales team online. But I advise you, if you're interested, do it today, because it's first come, first serve. Thank you.
Mr. Sam Adigun, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Sam Adigun, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Your presentation has been very, very detailed enough. And I can say without sense of humility that I think EchoStone, you actually stands out, among your peers based on what we've seen so far. And I want to believe that the next person I'll be calling now to speak, she's, as we all know, a grassroots mobilizer. She's a full-time activist and a mother to all the comrades we have here in Lagos State. Please, ladies and gentlemen, permit me as I call on the chairperson, Nigeria Labour Congress. She's no other person than Comrade Olufumi Agnes Sesi, to actually share her thoughts with us. Comrade Fumi, please, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, the whole house.
Good afternoon, ma. You're welcome.
You're welcome, ma.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Good
Well,
afternoon.
thank you, sir. This is a very good and welcoming development, most especially to us in the labor circle. We've been yearning to have affordable homes for our members, at least. Affordable home for our members, at least. And by saying that, affordable, we mean homes that will be available not only for high income earners, but also for low income earners, middle income earners, and then the high income earners. When you are talking of low income earners, they are all workers. They work for the good of the society. I am talking of somebody that is sweeping the streets in Lagos State. At least they should be able to have an affordable homes provided by the government, so that by the time they're also retiring, they have somewhere to, put their heads and lay on. Having said that, the homes that from the labor side we are yearning for and we are also, thinking about is homes that will not be out of reach of ordinary or common man. It should not be the home that at all times when we build, is only those who their hands can actually reach their ears that will at all times only be able to purchase. We should consider, put into considerations our salaries. And now we should also come to reality of post-COVID-19. Now jobs, many people are losing their jobs. Many jobs, their salaries are going down. Labor is only trying to start fighting employers who are reducing the salaries of their workforce. This, by 1 p.m., I was supposed to be at Vanguard newspaper and Nation newspaper to go and fight the management of those two companies, reducing the salaries of their workforce to 20% of what they've been earning before. So we can see that we need to come to terms with post-COVID-19. Well, our mindset before post-COVID-19, fine. But now, so many things will change. And we must also, change whatever we have on ground with that reality, so that so many other people will be able to join and come into what plan that we have on ground. Actually, what we were thinking before was that government should be able to build and then be doing rent to own for the people. When government builds, then you live in those homes. They can deduct for 15 years, for 20 years, for 30 years, as you still have much time in the service. That was our own thinking. But for those who are also high income earners, I believe some might be able to. But it also depends on how many types of facilities we have to offer. And if you have to offer, someone told me that a facilitator wants to go and build homes from federal government at around Agbowa. We should also put into consideration Ibile. That is the 5 divisions in Lagos State. If you think of people that are from this axis, Badagry axis, somebody from Ikorodu, indigene of Ikorodu, might not want to come and buy a home for their retirement plan. They might want to go back after service to the midst of their people. So if you are building homes, just note it, that probably people that walks around axis, they might buy these homes. But people who are indigenes of Ikorodu, who are indigenes of Ekpe, you also have to put them into consideration by this Ibile. If you cannot do the 5 Ibile, you can do something like 3, so that at least they will look at the proximity and then averagely key into the ones that they feel after my retirement, I can still stay here, it's not too far from my family, from my home, from my indigene. So I will also want to appeal, sir, that with this post-COVID-19 reality, from the situation room, if you can still, I know that you have put so much into the preparation and into the building, but if you can still also look at beyond these 252 buildings, you want to go into partnership with us and into business, how are we going to get people that will bring 10%, 900,000 naira now? That means they will go and get loan. And when they take this loan to pay this 900,000, believe it, the loan by cooperative societies, either you pay 8 months or you pay 12 months. By the time they are deducting this loan of 900,000 from their salaries, it is only mega amounts that will be left for them to be able to take care of their immediate need. If we are thinking of home, it's also very important, but we should also think of their stomach infrastructure. By the time they take the 10% loan of 900,000 and they pay, how do we want them to be paying that loan of 900,000? What I'm saying in essence is that if they key into NHF, we have also appealed to LBIC that instead of waiting for 6 months, after keying into the NHF by 4 months, why can't we process and then let people, and let LBIC keep the other ones, maybe your 10%, and then let them deduct from source, from these people. Instead of these people to go and take the first loan of 900,000, they pay, and by the time you want to be deducting the other ones, it will now become problem, because they will have to serve that loan of 900,000, and then the deduction again. Hello. Hello.
I'm hearing you, madam.
Okay.
We can hear you.
So
Hello.
all right. All right. Thank you very much.
You have a few minutes.
Okay, few minutes to go. All right. So from the labor, we are partners in progress. We want to key into this. Many of our members are yearning to have a home that we can actually call a home. But number one, consider the proximity. Consider that so many people might not want to go to Badagry right now because of this road network that is still very bad. and probably they are working at Alausa, consider that we have low-income earners, middle-income earners, high-income earners. We cannot put all of them together. If you actually want your company to thrive, you can do the kind of high-income earner separate, low-income earner in a particular place, or you mix middle-income earner and low-income earner together. Some of the high-income earner, they might not want to be in the same area or in the same particular estate with the low-income earners. So you have to put into consideration these three categories of people. And at the same time, you have to put into consideration that if you ask them to come and bring 10%, the 10% of the total amount, that means they will go and take a loan. And this loan from cooperative, they will want to deduct for 8 months or for a year, 12 months. And by that, what they are supposed to take home, there might actually be nothing for them to take home. Put all this into consideration. Having said that, also put into consideration post-COVID-19. So many of our members are losing their jobs. So many, their salaries are being reduced, most especially in the employment. In the government, we have to keep our tabs on the ground. And I believe the government representative is also here, so that our salaries, government should not try. Government of Lagos State should not try to reduce any worker salary in Lagos State, or else there will be trouble. Thank you very much. I rest my case.
Thank you, Comrade Olufumi Agnes Sesi.
Thank you, sir.
Chairperson, Nigerian Labour Congress, Lagos State Council. So right away, without taking much of our time, I would also like to call on the Chairman, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. He is no other person than Comrade Benga Ekundayo, to kindly share his own perspective, as it has to do with providing affordable housing for Lagos State workers. Comrade Benga Ekundayo, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, moderator. The major thing, like Comrade Sesi mentioned, is affordability. And that's what we've been talking about. There's been a lot of discussion with EchoStone and even with Lagos State government, with our mortgage bank. And also we've been having some discussion with the LBIC. And part of those discussions majorly are centered around provision of mortgage for members. We know to put down a large chunk of money right now is near impossible. So what we're targeting is mortgage. And what we've also talked about in terms of making it affordable is the NHF mortgage that may not even require any down payment as much as possible. However, we are not unmindful of building costs and prices. And we also have to think about what will be lasting, what will be enduring, not for us to just put brick and mortar together, which will start to collapse in a matter of months or few years. We also want properties that we can pay over time, and at the same time, we know that what we're paying for is what we can still enjoy, that's available for us to use for a long time. So we've been talking to developers that we want homes that are affordable, but we also require homes that we can have for a long time. Because we want something affordable does not mean it will not very cheap, that will not be useful in a matter of 1 or 2 years.
You have a lot of issues in getting titles or getting your project to move on, because sometimes if developers find it difficult to go to site when, of course, the law is still behind you to say you cannot start your project if you don't have the actual title, or you cannot start building if you don't have the actual physical planning title. So what it means is that once those areas have been tackled and sorted out according to the directives of the governor, and those agencies and those ministries, people at the Home of Affairs, are being charged to do what they have to do. Of course, it is just a win-win situation for either the financier or the developer, as well as the stakeholders in that built-on industry area. So it drastically reduces and has a good impact on a positive impact on the housing sector in Lagos State. Thank you very much. Have I answered the question enough?
Yeah, thank you, sir. I think you've done justice to that. That's informative. And I think we will still come back to you. The next question now is directed to Mr. Sami Adigun. One of our attendees wants to know, he said, what kind of assistance or help will you require from the government to make you provide a pocket-friendly housing for workers? What kind of assistance or help will you need from the government for you to provide a pocket-friendly housing scheme for workers? Mr. Adigun.
Okay. Basically, one, land must come free land, completely free without charge. Then two, infrastructure must be paid for by government, power supply, roads, water, electricity. Four, professional fees, because there are professional fees, pre-construction costs to architects, planners, engineers, and all of that. If in some climes where you have social housing, so government takes this cost, all of these costs sometimes could be as high as 45%. So that means our 9 million home we sell for 5 million or 5.5 if all of this was subsidized by government. When social housing started in the UK about 63, if you read the story of social housing in the UK, the subsidy was 70%. And then gradually it was sliding because the social housing assets were growing. So the companies that own those social housing assets became very, very huge companies. That today, some of them manage 100,000 homes, 70,000 homes with revenue of about ₦1 trillion in social housing business. So, but it's a long-term business. So how do you do a long-term business with short-term capital? It's not possible. So it's only government that has that long-term money in our own economy. The private money is expensive. It's at 18%, 20%. So if you apply an 18% money to a 2-3% return, you know, it's a negative, the money will finish. So it's only government that can do this. And what the message I'll send SSA to His Excellency is that for Lagos State to develop a social housing policy that will make land, infrastructure, and some of the fees developers pay to develop those infrastructure to be taken up by government, or government saying, look, I'm going to give, for example, these homes, I'm going to pay 4.5 million or 5 million on behalf of workers, and then workers, the mortgage for the workers will now be 4 million. So affordability automatically comes in. So I think that's the way it can start, and then gradually we'll grow it.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sami Adigun. And it is our hope that the SSA to the governor will pass our message across to the people's governor. You know, we all know we have a listening governor in Lagos State, and it is our candid belief that if you pass our message, the governor will, as a matter of urgency, look into it. And I have another question here again. So I don't know if Mr. Adigun will like to take this. The question says, so what can we do about the high rate of interest charged by financial institutions for middle and low income earners to patronize mortgage financing? And I think I would like to add a follow-up question also on that. Is how do we create more awareness about mortgage financing arrangements? It's like most people are not really aware of this particular package. So how do we create more awareness, and how do we address the issue of high interest rates, particularly as it has to do with middle and low income earners, for them to patronize mortgage financing? Mr. Adigun, please.
Okay, interest rate is a macro now, not a macroeconomic issue. So a lot of issues drive interest rate. It's the economy that determines interest rate. But the one unique aspect of interest rate when it comes to housing is that if you develop an ecosystem of housing, you can insulate that interest from the macro economy. I like relating back to the UK because it's where a lot of us Nigerians like to go. Interest rate for mortgages in the UK 30 years ago was between 15 and 17%. But today you can pay 3%, you can pay 3%. So if you just check it online, interest rate, mortgage interest rate in 1990, for example, you see it's between 15, 18%, but today is single digit. It's because there is a determined effort to grow the housing stock. As you grow the housing stock, they refinance themselves, because housing is like a tree. If you keep putting it back, the money into it, it keeps growing more fruits and more returns for you. So if Lagos, for example, decides to close our 100,000 eco home, we can grow it to a 1 million eco home. That means Lagos will have completely 1 million new homes in, say, 20 years. It's possible, but it starts with government, private, and everybody coming together. So to the man asking the question, for now, we have to live with that interest rate, but as our economy grows, as we become more productive, interest rate will come down. The second question about, sorry, what's your second question again?
Awareness. How do we create more awareness about mortgage financing?
Yeah, thank you. That's also part of government role, because the social service. So government needs to create awareness, and then organizations like yours needs to arrange a lot of seminars around mortgage. So that talk to your people, educate them that, look, the earlier you come, and then the Lagos State establishment people, every employee that comes in, they try to encourage him to take mortgage, because the best time to take a mortgage is when you are young, so that you get used to the culture of paying for that home, and then by the time you are in your middle level, you have almost paid for your home. You can even change home, because that home that you've paid for is now 3-4 times the value. You can buy a new home when you feel paid. So it's very good for Lagos State to have it as an option, a package that everybody is offered. It's just for you to say, no, I don't want. So it should come with the employment, every young man being employed, and government to organize sensitization workshops every time. It could be a monthly thing, online especially. Now, post-COVID, we see that online can be effective, the reach can be wider and cheaper. So it can be a continuous program, bringing in different resource people to lecture on mortgage and the advantages. So you can have a calendar for it.
Thank you very much, sir. I think there is also another question here for Mr. Sami Adigun. I think you are the major, how can I put it now, center of attraction. I think you have a lot of questions to answer for today.
I'm the seller, so we need the money, so we must talk.
So somebody is asking, he said, how can those in the diaspora tap into a scheme like this? And let me also add another question. Someone says, for those who cannot access the NHF facility, that how can they tap into a scheme like this?
So those who cannot access NHF, for this particular product, the management of Federal Mortgage Bank has approved a waiver for us. So for you to subscribe to Peridot Parkland, you don't need to contribute for 6 months. All you need to do is take your 6 months contribution to LBIC or City Code, open a mortgage account, and it represents as if you've opened your account for 6 months. So if your contribution is supposed to be 5,000 a month, and you take 30,000 to open the account, already you can get approval to try to buy this home. But to answer your question, generally speaking, for those who are in the diaspora, because they are not working, they are not members of NHF, they can only get what is called commercial mortgage. That means their mortgage will come at market price. Usually they are expected to pay more in down payment, between 30 to 50%, and then their mortgage can be written by any of these mortgage bank, LBIC or City Code. there's opening for them, but they have to pay more in equity, minimum of 30, maximum of 50%, and then their interest rate will not be 6%. It's about 15% for them.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. And lastly, for today, I would also like to write a question to you, Mr. Sami Adigun. Attendees wants to know if there are any hidden charges apart from the normal down payment. Are there other hidden charges that are not known for now? Because the person is scared that maybe after involving his or herself, other charges might just come up which they are not prepared for. I think the person wants to know if there are other hidden charges. And also, one of the attendees asking, he said, when are you going to commence the Imota Ikorodu project? So when are you going to commence that so that they can get their mind prepared?
I'll start with Imota. We plan to come, if we close in project development, there's what you call financial close. If we reach financial close by October, on our own calendar is to start Imota in October, November. That's what we have. But the condition for us to start is we must have the off-takers. We don't want to start it on speculation. We want to start, by the time we are starting it, we know we are building for Mr. Abiodun, we are building for Comrade Sessi, we are building for Mr. Abdulakim. So we want to have the list of our off-takers and then we'll hit the ground running. So that's why we're using this medium to appeal to all your members to off-take the homes, and then we'll start building. On our calendar is October. Ayobo, we plan to start in August. So we believe that we can aggregate the 280 members required for Ayobo between now and August, and we'll start. Then on your other question, which is, sorry?
The person is asking if there are other hidden charges.
Lagos State, there is no hidden charges apart from the regular charge. The bank will charge. You know, bank services do not come free, so bank have their own fees. I don't have the details of the fees, but normally they charge fee for every loan. Then Lagos State, if by the time you finish paying your loan or if you are buying cash, Lagos State has a charge for you to transfer the title to get your survey and get your deed of assignment in your name. So that 3% charge comes to about 270,000, and then the fees your bank will charge you. That's all you have to pay. But if the title is not coming in your name, then you don't have until when it's coming to you, then it becomes a fee you have to pay to Lagos State to get your title document.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it's been very engaging so far. Thank you for your time, and I think right away, due to the fact that our time is fast spent, we are now going to take the closing remarks of all our panelists. And I think the first person that is not other person than the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Housing, that's Mr. Abdul Hakim Ayodeji Amodu. Your closing remarks, sir.
Thank you very much, the moderator, Mr. Abiodun. I would like to say that housing is one of the key indicator for any human on earth. We all need shelter above our head. Apart from food and clothing, shelter is key. It's rainy season now. Nobody will want to be outside in the cold. I like to say that I implore everyone, all and sundry, to try out the Peridot Parkland Estate and support it by actually buying into this project. Just like Mr. Adigun said, that it's going to be sold out by July. Don't wait until July. June is almost rounding up, getting to the middle of June. Today is 11th of June, 2020. If you have to do it, let it be now, because don't wait until it's gone and you say, oh, I wish I did it. And what we should know that is that a stitch in time saves 9. If you buy it now, what I always say in real estate is the last man standing. You can never lose with real estate. As an estate surveyor and valuer, once you buy now, even if you want to sell tomorrow, you have a premium you can add to that. As against buying a vehicle, a car, which is a depreciating asset. House or shelter is an appreciative asset that you keep. Even if it doesn't appreciate immediately, in the long run, you can never go wrong and you can never lose out. So I appreciate every member of the panel. Let us see how we can support this estate, buy into it, do all the necessary nitty-gritty regulations or applications that we need to do, as Mr. Adigun has highlighted, and the sky will be our limit. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. We want to also appreciate you for finding time out of your busy schedule to be part of this important meeting. One thing we are going to take home from here is the fact that we have a governor who is generous with the signing of CFO. So hopefully, you know, some of us will take that opportunity to do the needful. Also, right away, we'll call on the next panelist to give us her closing remarks. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Comrade Olufemi Agnes Sesi, Chairperson, Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, Lagos State Council, to kindly give us her closing remarks. Comrade Sesi, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much, my Comrade Secretary. And thank you, the whole House. My parting shot for today. Number one, I will want Estate Surveyor Abdulhakeem, representing the government, to actually unfold the plan of government for us. This particular one we are talking about is PPP. Is a public partnership with private people. But the 492 homes that the government itself newly commissioned vis-a-vis Igondo homes, Igbokushu, Lekki Peninsula Phase 1, and also all other homes by Lagos Homes and LSDPC, the ones that was newly commissioned by Mr. Governor himself. Do you know that none of these homes are actually put available for our members? For only, let's say, just to save face, maybe probably members that are well connected. Ordinary member who has collected form of 10,000 naira, they are complaining every day that they have been shortchanged. They pay 10,000 for the forms, and yet they cannot get all these homes. Government promised they are going to do rent to own on all their facility for workers. But now, Lagos State government want to sell the 3-bedroom flat for 10 million naira cash down for workers. Where do they expect Lagos State workers to get 10 million naira cash? Unless they want us to go and steal. Number two, the rent to own. Government is insisting that it's only 1-bedroom flat they can give for rent to own around Igodo or in some of these popular estates. But they can also give 2-bedroom flat at Ijede, Igbogbo area, 2-bedroom flat for rent to own. But none of their 3-bedroom flat is going to the workers that the government is claiming they build these homes for, majorly. So we want to appeal to the conscience of the government. Hello, sir. We want to appeal to government to please consider the workers. Put us into consideration for these homes that the governor just commissioned. It should not go the way of the other ones, where those who have the want more. And those who do not have, they have nothing to show. For all their years in service, 35 years to serve our dear state, nothing to show for it from the government. It is so painful. Having said that, we are waiting for your department or for your ministry of housing, to call us, NLC and TUC, and to tell us that, okay, now the governor have heard all your cries. Governor has provided 3-bedroom flat, 200 for those who are ready now. Government has provided 200 flats in the area where you work, where it will be accessible, not me working at Alausa, and government will now go and provide 2-bedroom flat for me at Badagry. No. That is not sincerity on the part of government. We want your Ministry of Housing, to call us for a meeting and to engage us and let us partner together. Some of us are ready to immediately go into partnership and get some of these homes by Lagos State government itself. Having said that, from the side of the labor, we don't expect government to go into partnership. You cannot shave our head. You cannot shave our head behind our back. If you want to negotiate with any private company, please let us be there. Let us be involved. Government should not go and negotiate with a company, and then they will now call us for us to, oh yeah, call.
We are with you. We can't hear you.
Your members, let them go. Our members, oh God.
Hello, Commissioner, are you there? I think we lost Commissioner due to bad network. Probably we need to move on. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me, please?
We can hear you.
Okay. So let's move on to the next panelist for his closing remarks. I will call on the chairman, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. He is no other person than Comrade Benga Kundayo. Perfect gentleman. Comrade Benga Kundayo, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much. I think everything that we is guided, and we always be guided by regulation. And we know government remains our regulator in everything we do. To that extent, a lot still falls back on the government. That said, we must tell ourselves the truth of where we are. There's a huge deficit of infrastructure for that decade. And if we expect that the deficit to be, it may also be an indication that we are not ready to move quickly to where we ought to be. The truth of the matter is there must be a partnership between government and private developers to move us forward quickly. However, as was also identified during this webinar, it is also essential that government creates the enabling environment so that developers can actually deliver affordable housing. What we mean by that is provision of the necessary infrastructural amenities, provision of land. We know there is serious challenge in terms of land provision in Lagos. Lagos does not have much land. But within how to manage the little that's available, we need the government to really work on making land available to developers. We'll continue to work on this to make sure that we have affordable housing for people. Important. I would believe it is the government that will need to do this. The essay to the governor on housing, sir. We will also bring this to you. Lagos should actually pioneer a proper property market where people can own a home close to where they work. And when they retire, they can actually dispose of that home within the property, pick up another home where they are retiring to. Part of the pressure you find on people right now is people have to rent home in the city because of proximity to work.
At the same time, they need to have their own home that they will return to. So there's a pressure of paying rent in the city and struggling to build a home back in the village. But we can actually be better in how we manage this thing. We can be more efficient in managing the few resources that we have if we can have a proper property market that can cater for those concerns. Also, it should be possible for a young man, a young bachelor, a young spinster, just coming into service with many years to pay mortgage, to pick a mortgage that his salary can afford, like a one-bedroom flat. And as he gets better on the work, as his salary improves, he should be able to transfer from that one-bedroom apartment to a two-bedroom. Those should be possible within that property market. These things can relieve the pressure and also unlock funds in the hands of people to be able to keep things moving. These are the things that we really want from the government. And for our able developer, Mr. Sami Adigun, we will say that you should not relent. We've seen the houses that you built in Idale. They are impressive. We were there physically. We felt the difference in temperature between the inside and the outside. The temperature difference is real. We saw that and we're impressed. We're impressed with the casting and the delivery of, what you have. I've also discussed with you about a few improvements that we think should be in the areas of, what we like to have now, making the rooms and suites as much as possible. Those will also help us to have the property more attractive going forward. And we keep appealing to you to any area that we can see how to bring down the cost of the housing. We will appreciate it so that more people can afford it. We'll continue to work with you, the Federal Mortgage Bank. You've also mentioned the other windows that are available, the mortgage rediscount window from Central Bank, the Family Home Fund from Ministry of Finance, also the Nigeria Mortgage Refinance Company. You keep talking about those things. We would love to work with you on those to make mortgage affordable to our members. And we'll give you the assurance that together we will make this work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade Benga Ekunda. We appreciate you for that insight. And Mr. Sami Adigun, before I will come to you, we have Comrade Ceci on the line now. She would like to just wrap up her thoughts on this subject matter. Comrade Agnes Ceci, please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, my Comrade Secretary. Thank you so much, the whole house. Well, let me just conclude on the parting shot that we want to be partners in Lagos State Government, Ministry of Housing, giving out affordable homes to Lagos State workers that we represent. We will appreciate if we get affordable houses like one-bedroom flats that should not be above 5 million naira. If we'll be able to get two-bedroom flats, and Mr. Sami, your company can also put us into consideration on this. Two-bedroom flats should not be more than 7.5 million naira. While three-bedroom flats should not be more than 10 million naira. And it also depends on all the facilities that are therein for the three-bedroom flats to be rounded up for 10 million naira. If the two-bedroom flat could be reduced to 7.5 million, I bet the next available 30 days, you will see that all the homes will have been taken. Because these two-bedroom, they are in cluster forms. They are not in separate homes, like they have their own separate compound and what have you. So since they are in cluster form, we know that you put so much into it. But what the mandate our members have given us is that we should approach the government for affordable homes. And what could be much affordable for our members? One-bedroom flat should not be more than 5 million naira. 2-bedroom flat should not be more than 7.5 million naira. 3-bedroom flat should not be more than 10 million naira. Then we can consider very high income earners. We can consider them for having maisonette. We can consider building duplexes where we can put 25 million, 30 million. Those on the high scale, I think they can actually afford that. So we should also put all those people into consideration, having more spaces like 4 rooms and also other engaging facilities. Having said that, we will also want you to consider the 10% deposit that we have talked about earlier on. Our members cannot go and borrow loan and bring 10%, and yet they will continue the deduction from their salary and they will have anything left for them to take care of their family. NHF has already told us that there will be nothing like 10% deposit again. So we don't expect your company to come up with the issue of 10% deposit on all these homes. Let it be that those who are in NHF contribution, they should just go on and then the deduction will commence. So that is all our appeal to Lagos State government. Please see us as your partners, give us affordable homes. Even if you are going with the public partnership, let the houses be affordable. Let us also be on seat when you are negotiating. Don't negotiate at our back. Let us be able to tell all these private partners what our members can afford. Thank you very much. We are together in the struggle of we give decent homes to workers in Lagos State. And we also want to know how much is the houses at Ayobo and how much is the house at Imota? How much are they going to come for? Thank you very much. That's my parting shot. I appreciate the organizer, TUC. I appreciate you. I appreciate the chairman. I appreciate the secretary. I appreciate all the members. I appreciate Lagos State Government Ministry of Housing. I appreciate Mr. Sami Adigun for your time, for what your company is doing to abridge and also to bring us close to having good homes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I appreciate.
Thank you very much. That's a powerful one from the People's Comrade, Comrade Agnes Sessi. We really appreciate you. Thank you for that. And right away, we'll call on our last panelist for today. He is no other person. He's the major, he's the reason why we are all here. And the person who will be providing the affordable homes to everybody, particularly to workers in Lagos State, Mr. Sami Adigun from EchoStone. Please, your final comments, sir.
Yes, I want to use this opportunity to thank TUC, especially represented by the chairman, Benga Kundayo, and also your honorable self, Comrade Abiodun Aladeton, who is our moderator for today and Secretary TUC Lagos. We thank you. Also, my highest regard to our comrade activist, Agnes Sessi. You've hit the nail on the head. I love your forthrightness. I like the way you come out and you deliver the punch. Yes, it is possible, but you know, for these homes we are selling 9 million, we didn't even build it for 7. It's difficult to believe. We're selling it at cost, but it's possible also to sell it to Lagos State at 9 million, that to Lagos officials at 7.5. That's where we need government subsidy. That's where we can work together, go to government and say, look, my members can pay 7.5. Government should pay 1.5. That's what government is for. Government will pay on behalf of 252 people 1.5. Then that is actually the collaboration that we are supposed to be working on. And I'm sure government will be happy if they are just paying instead of taking money to develop homes themselves. There are homes that will cost Lagos State maybe 100 billion naira or 70 billion. Comrade Akim might know the figures to complete today. If that money is placed as subsidy, 20% subsidy, it will create 5 times the number of homes Lagos State is building, instead of Lagos State carrying the whole 100% to build. Because Lagos State is building and buying from the same market as us. They are not making profit. They are even subsidizing, I'm sure, but they can't, because we've discussed with the ministry, their own total project cost, they are not recovering it back. So that model is not good for government itself to be building. What government should be doing should be budgeting for subsidy, the way students get scholarship. So every worker will be entitled to a particular amount of subsidy. If you're in level 1, you're entitled to 1 million. If you're in level 15, you're entitled to 15 million subsidy. There'll be a graduation. Then you know when to draw your subsidy. If you draw your subsidy, it's like a debit, a check, you pay it into the mortgage bank, you move into your house. So there won't be need for contribution, there won't be need for all of this. We come together to create it. That's what we do. So we are a solution provider. We can work with you and Lagos State to create a solution for your members. All your members can become homeowners, and Lagos State will also show them even how to make back their subsidy, because that subsidy they are giving 1.5 million, they're going to make it back in ground rent, in development, in other levies, because Lagos State has a charge. So it's an ecosystem, and that's why it's done globally. If you do the wrong thing, you get the wrong result. So the purpose of this webinar is for us to move to the next stage, is our management, your management, come up with a bespoke solution. Then we approach government that, look, the two of us have agreed to work together to develop this housing for staff. This is what we want from government. So we ask government, and we believe ESV Akim, who is represented here, government will be reasonable, because we will show government compelling reason why they should do it, and why what they are doing before is not the right way, and what the benefits, both in terms of socioeconomic, in terms of financial benefits to them, we'll be able to show them, and jointly with us. So we are very sure that this is a beginning of a very strong relationship. We will, on our own part, will work with you to develop it quickly, especially even on Idale. If you have your off-takers who are ready to pay 7.5 million, ESV will take their names to governor. I'm sure ESV, you can help us get the approval. Is it possible, sir?
By the grace of God. By the grace of God,
Comrade Sessi, ESV has said it's possible. So if you have your members...
That's what I want to hear. If that is achievable, I'm bring Lagos State University to it. Last workers, I want them to take over that place.
So that is
College of Education, French, village, all the workers around these houses. That's postgraduate,
immigration, custom, all of them.
College of Medicine, all the workers around these axes. Let them take that Idale for 7.5. We will mobilize, and within 1 month, that 252 units will be taken over totally.
So what we'll do is that give us a written officer who will write the ministry, and then the SSA and his ministry will be able to raise a memo for governor to get the approval for you for that subsidy.
Okay, very good, sir. Very good, sir. We want us to do presentation. I will also invite you, and I will want us to do presentation with head of tertiary institutions in Lagos. If you are ready,
okay.
I will discuss with the Vice Chancellor of LASU. I will discuss with Professor Fagbon today. And then they will set a webinar. And then the Ministry of Housing, that's Mr. Abdulhakim.
I'm here with you. I'm all ears.
You'll be in that meeting, sir. Mr. Sami will be in that meeting with head of tertiary institutions in Lagos State. And then the representative of the staff unions will be on webinar. And I will let you know within the next 5 or 6 days, that webinar should come up, so that we will put it on all our forums. Our members can immediately take up all the 252 homes.
Yes, and the 1,000.
We have the capacity to take more than 252 homes.
We have 2,000 plans. So are your boys there?
LASU has about 6,000, more than 6,000 workers in LASU alone.
So we can house what I tell you, we can house all of them. We can house all of them, possible.
That would be great.
Within 2-3 years,
so let us have that
order.
webinar. At the webinar, let there be an understanding. Then we hit the ground running, sir. In the next 5 days, I promise you this webinar should come.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to say something. Can I
Good
go
one,
ahead?
Commissioner. Oh, go ahead, sir.
I would like to thank my comrade. She's very, very active, outspoken, and a go-getter, like myself, if I may say that. Comrade
Thank you,
Agnes,
sir.
kudos to you.
Thank you, sir.
I want to say this, and quote me if you have to. I use certain words when I was talking, and when I talk, I always mark my words.
Yes,
The
sir.
governor is very, very passionate about reducing housing deficit in Lagos State.
Thank
You
you,
have
sir.
made a very good proposal. You see, when you were talking, I never said anything. I was listening, and I was reading in between the lines. I felt the heat in your voice, and being a comrade, you actually are fighting for the larger people in the workforce. And I have been on that path before, and I understand it. Casa is key, apart from food and clothing. And is even among the three, it is one of the most important indicator for one's existence. And the governor of Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is very keen to ensure that housing deficit is reduced. Now, you talked about LASU. Let me quickly run by you that we have a project inside LASU as we speak. I don't know if you know about it, but I'm
Yes,
sure.
please, I know.
Yes, so that is going to come up. We have about 36 units of home, 3 blocks there already, nearly completion, that is to be finished. Now, I want to say to you that I'm highly interested in taking this dive and making it up to actually talk to the governor and the Ministry of Housing, the Honorable Commissioner, and all the members of the leadership. In fact, as a pet project, to see that whatever proposal you are bringing can see the light of the day.
Thank
in the
you,
terms
sir.
of saying that let the government see how they can actually subsidize, just as Mr. Sami Adigun has corroborated, that like you have exists in the in Western world, more developed world, government usually subsidize. Yes, it is very good for you to come up with that. But as you still know, if we talk on one side, we should look at the reality on the ground. Land is our oil in Lagos State. Lagos State government is not ready to start making money from what it's supposed to be doing as a social good to its populace. But we know that when you were talking, you talked about let people have homes where they work, let people have homes, retirement homes, while they're living somewhere to pay for it. It's good. But at the same time, land where those houses sometimes are a bit pricey or a bit on the high is because the cost of actually acquiring the land is one issue. If a developer or a private partnership person like Mr. Adigun is being probably allocated the property, the cost of those land is usually one of the factors when you factor it in to those projects. It's actually, by the time you do the economics of scale, the numbers, by the time you start placing what is the actual cost of one unit, you will find out that those prices will kind of go up. But government has the honors, since it wants to actually better the lives of its citizens, come out with those subsidies. So, like you have said, you are going to you are putting your work down that you can actually ensure that those properties built at Idale can be taken over once those proposals that Mr. Adigun is cooperating for us to send to the governor and through the Minister of Housing to say, look, let's subsidize. Let's see how we can reduce this deficit. It's a very good thing. It's a good, I think that is something we should take away from here today as one of the key points that we have hit on the head to say, now you have said one bedroom should not be more than 5 million, 2 bedrooms 7.5. I was taking note, while 3 bedrooms should be 10 million. Yes, is a proposal. So come up with it. I will start putting paper to and biro to book now to start seeing how I can come up with my own report on what we have done from this webinar, expecting your own proposal where I will come up with a final draft to meet with my commissioner and the PAMSEC as well as special advisor to the governor and push this forward to say, look, if we have been doing it this way, why don't we do it the other way around as it's suggested and see whether government can actually get those subsidies to wipe away the tears of its workers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate all the kind words. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for being on the side of the workers. Thank you very much, sir.
On the side of government as well, because the workers
on the side of government and the workers. It's a win-win situation. Thank you.
Yes,
sir.
for both of us. Okay.
Thank you very much to
Thank you very much to all our panelists.
Actually, I would like to. The moderator.
Let us thank.
Let's thank Comrade Thirsty once again for the contribution, and also all comrades that came out today. It's a long journey, and we're on it, and eventually we'll get to where we need. We'll encourage everybody to check using the NHF short code *219# to check our affordability of NHF loans, so that we can know what our monthly repayments our salaries can bear. And that will also guide how much loan we can get from NHF. That is very critical to how much we can get as loan to buy a home before we now look at how much subsidy we need from the government or how people we need to go find to buy the home. In all, it's good effort, and we'll continue to work on it to make sure that we deliver affordable housing to members. So I think we thank everybody for your time so far spent. And we've listened very carefully to the SSC government on housing. And you can be sure, sir, that we'll follow up with you. Honorable Abdulhakeem Ayodeji, you can be sure we'll follow up with you on those possibilities
of getting the subsidy so that members can buy those homes. Thank you for this comment.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We want to appreciate you for your knowledge. I want to say thank you for the time spent for today's meeting. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's meeting that is actually aimed at addressing one of the major challenges confronting an average Lagosian and workers specifically, which is the issue of housing. So we want to thank all our social partners for this conscious effort towards addressing the 17 million housing deficit that we have in Nigeria. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, and hopefully we'll meet again. God bless you all. Bye-bye for now.